welcome to another LIGHTLARK book review. This is the second one overall. I know I said I'd be making, no, you know what? I had made no promises. Anyways, so the last book review I made was back in January on Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Literally love. Since then, actually, I'll give you a little update on that one first. So in that video, I talked about just the first book, Shadow and Bone. But Shadow and Bone is a trilogy, followed by a duology, and then another duology, and there's a show. So when I recorded that video initially, I'd only read the first one. Now I read Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising, Six of Crows, and Crooked Kingdom. So I read the trilogy, the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and the Six of Crows duology. I have not read King of Scars, and then whatever the second one is, Ruler of Wolves or something like that, and I haven't seen the show yet. I will read those two eventually. It's just not like crazy high on my priority list. But literally, like, guys, I loved it so much, like so much. I know a lot of people like Six of Crows better than Shadow and Bone, but honestly, I think I kind of like Shadow and Bone better. Overall, like if I'm comparing the whole trilogy to the whole duology, I like Shadow and Bone better. But if I'm just talking about like the book Shadow and Bone versus the book Six of Crows, I would probably pick Six of Crows. I wasn't really a fan of Siege and Storm. I thought it was kind of pointless. Not pointless, like it had a point. But I just felt like it was just a lot of filler. Like it was just like so much of them like preparing for war and then like not a whole lot of like the actual war. But it was fine. We got to meet Nikolai, who is so awesome. Ruin and Rising, like, I don't know what it was about Ruin and Rising, but I read that entire book in one sitting, and like, it was, like, I loved it. And then of course I love Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, like, obviously. Like, who wouldn't? Whatever, I'm not talking about Six of Crows right now. I'm here to talk about LIGHTLARK by Alex Astor. I just finished this book. I just finished it. Today is Tuesday. I finished it on Sunday. Don't have the book physically with me anymore. I actually just returned it to the library like an hour ago, and I'm filming this now. But that was just because I wanted to get another book. I checked out The Cruel Prince, so keep a lookout on my Goodreads for that. Maybe I'll make a video on it. Depends how I feel about the book. There's been a lot of books that I've read since that I've like thought about making videos on, but I just like, they haven't, like, I didn't like care enough to do it. Like, I'm not making videos on the books just because I like loved them so much. It's like whatever. Like, I don't know, I just feel like making a video on it because I like have things to say other than like, wow, this book was amazing. Because if I was just gonna make a video and say, wow, this book was amazing, I would make 10 videos on the Atlas 6 because, oh my god. Guys, I also read the Atlas 6. I read the first two books of that. I haven't read the third one yet. Guys. Okay, I'm getting off topic. LIGHTLARK by Alex Astor. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to explain it, like, thoroughly, because I don't understand it thoroughly. Like, I think I was, like, confused for, like, a good portion of the book. And I know this, like, because I talked about this too with Shadow and Bone. Like, I said similar things. I was confused for a lot of the time. And, like, this does always happen with the first book in, like, a fantasy series. Like, they have to do all the, like, setting up and stuff. But I just feel like, in LIGHTLARK, I just feel like nothing was explained. Like, I was just struggling. LIGHTLARK, it's, like, this land. It used to be, like, this one big, like, I don't know if it's like an island or something, and then there were like 6 different realms, and then there was like curses that were created, and it ended up splitting all the realms so they couldn't live on Lightlark anymore, which is like the name of the place. And each of the realms got a curse that was like relevant to what their power was. So the 6 realms, there is Wildling, Sunling, Starling, Moonling, Skyling, and Nightshade. Why is Nightshade the only one that doesn't end in ling? Anyone ever think about that? Okay, the Sunling curse was they couldn't go out in the sunlight. Nightshade curse, they couldn't go out in the dark. Moonling curse, could not tell you. Skyling curse, could not tell you. Starling curse, they all die before 25, which I feel like is such a random curse. Like, that's so weird. What does that have to do with stars? Like, I just don't really get the relevancy, because I feel like all of the other ones were like at least somewhat relevant to their powers, and I don't even really know what they do in the first place. That's also something I wasn't very clear on. Sorry. The Wildling curse was this one also didn't really make a lot of sense. Like, if they fall in love, they have to kill their lover or die. I don't know. That didn't really make sense either. And then they have to eat hearts. Like, okay, I don't know. It was just interesting. I also am like not totally sure on like what the different powers of all the realms are. Like, Wildling is like stuff with plants. There's also like some healing there. I know Moonling has a lot of healing, and that's also with water. Nightshade obviously was darkness. Like, okay, the Darkling. Guys, Oro and Grim is just the Darkling in Mal. Let's talk about it. Just kidding. Just kidding. And then Sunlings, there's like fire. He could also fly. Actually, that might have been a Skyling ability. So basically, all 6 of the rulers of the realms come together every 100 years for what's called the Centennial. And the Centennial is basically, it's like Hunger Games meets Powerless. The whole point of the Centennial is to break the curses. There's like this prophecy that talks about the origin of the curse, and it tells you how to break it. It was like only like joined in when the original crime sin has been committed, then the curses will be broken, but like a ruler must die. So it's like basically what they're supposed to do is like they have to kill one of the rulers, and that will break the curses. But there's like all these rules, like you can't kill anyone before the 50th day. Oh yeah, the Centennial is 100 days long. There's like duels and a ball, and there's like they also get like paired up. Like you're not allowed to kill who you're partnered up with. So basically like the pairs like work together to try and find a way to break the curse, because it's not like you can't just like kill any one ruler, because you have to decide who to kill basically, because each of the realms have something to offer to like the kingdom. And if you kill one of the rulers, like you kill off that entire realm. You're not just killing like the ruler. So it's like they have to figure out who, basically what they can live without. That's like the hard part of it, like, because if it was just like to kill someone, like it would have been solved a million years ago. 6 rulers all come together. The main character's name is Isla. She is the Wildling ruler. She has a secret, which is that she was born with no powers. Sound familiar? Sorry, I'm not trying to be mean. She has a secret friendship with the Starling ruler, who is Celeste. She also has this like star stick, and basically it allows her to like teleport, which she believes is a Starling relic. Spoiler, it's not. Skyling ruler is Azul. Couldn't tell you anything about him. He's like kind of like low-key irrelevant. Cleo is the Moonling ruler, also irrelevant. Like, she tries to kill Isla a few times, but like Oro, who's the Sunling ruler, but he's also the king of Lightlark. Which, how's that fair? Because he's the king, he has the powers of all the realms. Then, the ruler of Nightshade is Grim. He's pretty awesome. He's like basically, he's like your stereotypical brooding emo boy who's like flirtatious with the main character. I don't know if I even comprehended enough of this book to make a whole video on it. They have to form alliances. they have to find a way to break the curses. But then there's also lying, and there's cheating, and there's betrayal. Whoever wins the most of the demonstrations gets to choose the partnership. Celeste and Isla, they have this plan because they don't want to go showing off their alliance ahead of time. They have this plan to like make sure they don't stand out and make sure like the others think they're weak so that they'll get paired together, because they're just like, oh, it's easy, just pair the two like youngest, weakest, inexperienced ones together. And then they wanted to search for this thing called the bond breaker. Apparently it was like supposed to look like a giant needle, and it was supposedly hidden in like one of the ancient libraries of the realms, and they had to like go searching for it. But like I don't really understand how it worked. Like it just needed a lot of their blood, but I think it would just break their curses. I don't think it would have broken everyone's curses. So it's like, okay, a little selfish there. Isla, girl can't stick to the plan. She's showing off a little too much. She almost beats the king in the duel, and then she like backs off at the last second, but like he knew that she let him win. Grimm won't leave her alone. He's like flirting with her the whole time. Cleo hates her. Azul's just there. Untapped market with Azul and the Skylings. Like he was just there. Nothing really like happened with him. The king ends up winning the duels. So then the pairs are Oro and Isla, who's the Sunling King, and then Isla's the main character. Then I think it was Cleo and Celeste, and then Azul and Grimm, I believe. Isla and Oro, they spent all this time searching for the heart of LIGHTLARK, because that's what the king believes like the original sin was wielding the heart. And so they're searching for the heart. He needs Isla because something with plants, I don't know. So they start getting a little bit closer, and then they start trusting each other a little bit. And Isla needs to use the king in order to get into the Sunling library so that she can search for the bond breaker, because she searched every other library except for that one. She ends up telling him that she has no powers. More people try to kill her. The king ends up rematching everybody up, and everyone's like, can he do that? But it just happens, so like I guess so. And I mean, he's the king, so like who's gonna tell him he can't? Isla didn't even know about this. He matches himself with Cleo, Isla with Grimm, and then Celeste with Azul. I know the heart is on the Moonling Isle. I need like Cleo to help me get it. And then he reveals to the group that Isla has no powers, and she's like, and then she runs because everyone's gonna try and kill her now, obviously, because now it's like she's the obvious choice to kill to break the curses, because the rulers of the realm, they like put their power into the earth to like sustain their realms. So the whole like wildling realm was like dying because Isla had no power, so she couldn't like power the realm. Her like guardians were like kind of covering for her. Isla like is hiding in this little like place on the wildling like place. That area like nullifies any power except for wildling power, which doesn't do anything for her, but it at least puts her on like an even playground with anyone else should they try to come attack her. Now they're like, we really need to find this bond breaker, otherwise like we're running out of time. They're gonna use the heart. And then Isla and Grimm are like falling in love, yada yada yada. There's like a lot of good tension between them. That was what I liked most about the book, was the tension between Isla and Grimm, because we all know that's all I actually care about in books. Oro wasn't actually betraying Isla. He did that on purpose because he needed Cleo to help him get into the like Moonling place, and he promised Isla that she could be the one to wield the heart and break the curses. So because whoever breaks the curses gets like a lot of power or something, and Isla's like, girl, I've never had power, I want it all. She's kind of selfish. And what she says so many times throughout the book, she says like, damn, I keep forgetting like about Celeste. Like I keep forgetting about my best friend in the whole world is like also like little in danger and stuff. Until Azul tries to kill Celeste. She thinks it's Cleo that tries to kill Celeste, but then Celeste had like his ring in her hand, which was the ring that Isla had given him in the beginning. So that like let her know who it was. And then Celeste wakes up because Grimm has the ability to like make them invisible. So he like hides her from everyone else so no one's gonna like finish her off. And she finds the bond breaker. I don't know if it ever said where she found it. Isla is like, okay, you have to like let Grimm do it with us because she loves him. But then at the last second, Grimm says something to Isla that makes her like not trust him anymore. Celeste's blood breaks up into like 6 different droplets for each of the realms. And then Oro and Grimm, who have like run after Isla trying to like stop it from happening, they like collapse. Isla collapses. And Celeste turns into, she turns back into this girl, I think her name was Aurora, who was like the original Starling leader. And it turns out that she spun the curses all those years ago. She faked her own death, and she's been like pretending to be a new Starling ruler every centennial. And it was her the whole time, and she was manipulating Isla the entire time so that she could steal their powers or something. Isla escapes with her star stick, which turns out to actually be a nightshade relic, because it turns out that Isla's parents, like her father was a nightshade or something. And also like the wildlings were a part of like the original like creation of LIGHTLARK. Like I'm really struggling. I like literally just finished reading this book 2 days ago. Okay, when I filmed the Shadow and Bone book, I had finished reading it like hours before. But like, I don't know, for some reason this book was like really hard for me to like wrap my head around. It's not that it was like, it wasn't heavy at all. It wasn't like overly detailed. It wasn't like it's not that crazy of a book. I just feel like there's so much of like, it's just like, what? And like none of it like really makes sense. Like no offense to Alex Astor, like it was fun, I guess. But I just like feel like I was just like, what is even happening? Like I just like don't understand what's happening. Like I don't understand what this centennial, like I don't know. I just feel like it didn't make enough sense. There was also another really big plot twist where it turned out that Isla wasn't powerless at all, but she was told by her guardians that she was powerless. I don't remember why. Sorry, I don't remember why. And at the end, like Isla's like about to die, and then someone saves her using like wildling power. If you love someone, you give them access to your power, and that's why wildlings weren't supposed to fall in love. Who was using her power? It was Oro, not Grimm. Oh yeah, there was also another plot twist. This was why Isla was mad at Grimm, because it turned out that she had been like visiting him for like over a year. They'd already like been in love for a year, and he like erased all her memories. So she was like feeling betrayed, and that's why like at the end when it was Oro who was using her powers, not Grimm, because only someone that she loves could use her powers. Also, it was supposed to be like a surprise that Oro was in love with her. It was a surprise to Isla, not to us. But honestly, the entire time I was reading the book, I was picturing Oro as like this old man. Like I was picturing him as like he looked like Linus from Stardew Valley. He looked like the king from that like iPhone mobile game. Like guys, that was what I was picturing the entire time, until like things started getting getting a little flirty, and I was like, wait, is he supposed to be like around her age? It's like Grimm I had no problem like imagining as like around the same age because of like the relationship between them. Like I don't know what it was, but I just was picturing him like that the whole time. So then when things started getting a little like flirtatious, I was like, wait. And that like, I don't know, maybe that's why I couldn't wrap my head around the two of them together, and that's why I wanted her with Grimm. But like I just like could not. Overall, the book, I ended up rating it 4 stars on Goodreads. I think if Goodreads let you do half stars, I think it would lower it a little bit to 3.5, because I think it was more enjoyable than other books I've rated 3 stars, but it wasn't as enjoyable as books I've rated 4 stars. I don't know if I would give it like a full 4 stars just because of how like lost I was. I don't know if it's necessarily that there were like a lot of plot holes or if I just wasn't really like following the story very well. I think like I found myself getting distracted a lot, so I wasn't like absorbing the information. Like I kept forgetting things, as you can tell, because I'm trying to recap the book and I forgot like half of it. But like I kept forgetting things, so I like wasn't understanding things because I was like, wait, what? Like, you know? It's not that hard of a book to grasp. I just like, for some reason, it was just like difficult for me to, I don't know, like I just had a hard time following it because, I don't know, I was just so distracted while reading it. I liked how like dumb it was. Like I have like a guilty pleasure of like dumb, cliche, stereotypical books like that. Like I loved, like that's why I loved Powerless by Lauren Roberts. That's why I love Shadow Mode. Like that shit's like, it's cliche and it's stupid, and that's why I love it. You know, especially Powerless. Like that book was so, like it was just like a combination of every cliche in the entire world. And yeah, I rated it 5 stars. I don't know if I would say it was good. I don't know if I would say it was bad either. It was just like, it was fun enough. I definitely would have rated it way lower if it weren't for Grimm, because he was pretty awesome. You know, like cliche, like book boy. But like, it worked. Okay? It worked, and so what? But yeah, there is another book called Nightbane. I'm not 100% sure yet if I plan on reading that. I think I might read it eventually, but it's definitely not like, definitely probably not anytime soon. I don't know if I would recommend it. This book, I just picked it up because the library didn't have the book I was originally looking for, and I was just like, all right, I guess I'll get this. And it was nice enough, but I don't know, I just feel like it took me a little too long to get through because I couldn't like get into it as well. Let me see if I can pull some quotes up. So Goodreads, like the Goodreads rating on this, like the overall rating is 3.84. Like I'm gonna put it out there, this is like a very stereotypical TikTok book. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like that's not always a bad thing. Like if a book is popular on TikTok, that doesn't automatically mean that it's bad. In some cases it might. I don't know if I would say if this was one of those cases, but I'm just gonna say like you can tell that it's like a book that a lot of people on TikTok like. I think it got popular from TikTok, I mean. Like, I don't know if I can share any of those quotes. Like I'm getting embarrassed for like even reading the book. You ever like something initially and then you read like comments, like reviews, and you're like, actually never mind? Like I'm kind of feeling that. Like I might, after I finish filming this, I might change the rating to a 3. I think this book could really benefit from showing rather than telling. Because even when it did tell, it didn't tell me much. That's why it was like difficult and not like a good type of difficult. It was very, like I feel like a lot of it was like repetitive, especially Isla being like selfish and then immediately being like, oh my god, I'm such a bad friend, like I'm so sorry, Celeste, and then like doing it again, which maybe that's meant to be like more realistic. But this quote at least explains a little bit of something. So this explains why, if anything, I'm going to use the quotes to explain what I couldn't. To break the curses and fulfill the prophecy, the original offense had to be repeated again. You had to make Oral fall in love with you, but we were already in love. You would have refused, so I had to take the memories of us together away. Because the original offense was like something like someone falling in love with their best friend's like lover or whatever. Okay, this one I actually kind of like. This was about a moment between Isla and Grimm. Their foreheads pressed together, and she had never felt more alive, more bare than she did in that moment, having him watch as endless sensations overcame her. Grimm looked her right in the eyes as every feeling intensified, saturated, more than she ever thought possible. And something about it was all so familiar, like falling asleep or humming to the rain or breathing, like she had already done it all 1,000 times in her dreams. Because she had. Wow. Yeah, okay. That's the only one I feel like I wouldn't be embarrassed reading out loud, and even that wasn't. Personal apology to Alex Astor, because I'm not trying to like dog on your book like this. I literally it was okay. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I just feel like it could have been explained better what was going on, and I'm sorry. But yeah, that's about it. And bye. Bye.